Girls, can we start?
Yes.
Great, great. Okay. Welcome, dear friends, dear colleagues, dear seafarers, dear academia and researchers. So we are beginning now the webinar, Introduction to Maritime Coaching, 3 Pillars for Well-being on and Offshore. And I introduce you my colleagues, Miss Alexandra Badita. She will tell you some words about her. I am Cristina Dragomir. I am Associate Professor at Constanta Maritime University, and thirdly is Miss Alexandra Ciucanu, that you will soon meet also. Dear Alexandra, what can you tell us about you?
Which one?
Good, very good question.
Correctly.
Okay, let me just stop this share and leave you to introduce yourself. Hello, Alexandra Badita.
Hello, and hello everyone. Thank you so much for being here on a Saturday. And I'm really excited to be here with you and to share a little bit about coaching and personal and professional development. I myself am writing and self-esteem coach and also a storytelling and creativity expert. I have been coaching a lot, mostly with women, because it's my passion to help women to be a part of all the industries and to have a voice. I'm also the director of a global woman community, which is called Global Women Club. And I'm the director of the regional club here in Bucharest. And I love writing. I love everything that has to do with the power of expressive writing, journaling, as well as creative writing, storytelling. And you will see that writing is also a very powerful tool that we are going to use in some of the exercises today. So I invite you to please have next to you a pen and a piece of paper, because we're going to do a little bit of writing. So welcome to today's webinar, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you.
Thank you very much, Alexandra. Now let's meet the other Alexandra, Miss Alexandra Ciucanu. Let me just pin your screen. Okay, you should know that Miss Alexandra Ciucanu is already on the vessel. She's in Singapore. Alexandra, hello.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you understand me. I hope my internet works properly, as I am in Singapore now in the OPL anchorage. Well, as from my side, I started this maritime career in 2015 when I joined first time in the ship. But actually the journey started before this. It started with the Naval Academy in 2013. And as soon as I have stepped on board a ship and I understood what kind of power this gives to a woman, I couldn't quit. So I became an officer. Now I'm working in a company that is so much woman friendly. And I like to see women empowered. Now on the bridge team, we are 3 girls, 3 amazing females, which give a little bit of salt and pepper to the team. And it's quite amazing to see that this kind of webinars are happening, because when I started my career, these kind of events were happening only in the west part of the world, the West Europe, USA, and to be honest, I didn't have the required English to understand what those people were saying. So take this webinar as a big opportunity to learn something new about how to mindful yourself, about how to coach yourself, and how to self-develop. As for me now, I love to read a lot of self-development books, and not just this. And of course, I love this job, being on board. And it is so nice to see that we have so many people around us who want to build themselves in a good way, in the correct way.
That's great. Thank you very much also, Alexandra. And let's see now our first part, our introductory part. I will share screen again, the presentation, and I will begin with the theory part. We need some theory to start this webinar. So about me, in short, so I just told you before, I am associate professor at Constanta Maritime University, and I have a scientific expertise in maritime gender, leadership, management, also transport technologies. And in order to better understand the way I started the research on gender and leadership, I will tell you just a few things about a previous project where I was the leader. And the project was called Gender Equality and Cultural Awareness in Maritime Education and Training, GCAMET. And this session is live broadcasted on Facebook, GCAMET. Why this project, this research project was important? Because it was founded by academic grant by the International Association of Maritime Universities and the Nippon Foundation. And I had this incredible, amazing team of researchers. In total, we were 10 researchers from universities joining the International Association of Maritime Universities, and they were coming from 9 countries and 4 continents, and they helped me a lot to better understand the issues of maritime women, and not only this, to understand better cultural awareness and leadership. Therefore, I will make the introduction based on their own expertise that helped me also to gain knowledge, more knowledge in this domain. For start, in maritime transport, there are 3 categories of important persons. Those are leaders, managers, and coaches. And there are some distinct differences between them. But what is more important is that they are complementary entities. They are distinguished by their motivation, by the way they think, and by the way they act, compared to short cases, which might be familiar to those that are not doing seafaring. Onboard ship managers run organizational techniques that are adapted to the particularities of shipping. And from this point, we should discuss which are those particularities of shipping. There is so much to talk about, but I will synthesize in only this affirmation. Shipping and working on board vessel means working inside a closed environment. Some researchers say the ship can be compared to a total institution, an institution where you face the same persons for a long period of time, an institution where your family is somewhere beyond, somewhere on shore, and you have to do your job. On board vessel, the master is the manager with a formal role of planning, organizing all the 5 functions of the management, including coordination and motivation and evaluation. In the case of engine deck, the equivalent for the master is the position of the chief engineer. Based on studies of other researchers, it was found that on certain vessels, it is not the master or the chief engineer that holds the position of leader. Instead of such situation, some persons with very strong personalities are perceived as informal leaders. And I prepared for you a table to better understand what is the difference between leadership and coaching. I searched for some analysis criteria and I mentioned some of them. And from the point of view of the scope, there are distinct facts between leadership and coaching. First of all, the leader has the motivation and is effectively conveying team objectives. In fact, leadership and coaching are very different activities. Leadership, for example, is about effectively conveying team's objectives, motivating them, moving them in a specific direction. He also manages complex situations. A leader usually has the power to make decisions that directly influence the outcome of his team. A leader operates on a less personal level. Usually, we can select our coach but we cannot select our leader. It is usually the other way around. Leaders set the tone of the organization. They know how things will go. They create the vision and inspire teams toward the vision. Leaders are only successful if they get results, and they get those results through people. Leaders have the authority to require results from people by performance plans, while coaching is related to the accompaniment of people. In a coaching process, we do not lead, we do not guide, and neither we decide what the team or the coachee, either individual or by group, has to do. But rather, the coach will accompany the person so that they become aware of their skills and abilities by themselves. The coaches will achieve the goal set or find the growth they want. So in this case, the result depends 100% on the coachee. A coach takes a personal approach and applies a method of listening, clarifying and prompting intentional thought. The coach promotes action and behavior changes the push the coachee beyond perceived limitation. It is understood that the coachee cannot see his or her own genius, and the coach can and proceeds to tease that genius out from behind the curtain. Coaches create a picture or ideal for the coachee to live. However, we find that better leadership can be built based on these tools and stages, which requires a reallocation of responsibilities and involvement. We draw some conclusions based on this comparison, that both leader and coach promote action, but at different level. Leader promotes action at the organizational level, while coach promotes action at the behavioral level of the individual. A second conclusion is that in a coaching process, the coach does not lead, guide, or decide what the team or coachee has to do. The coach only accompanies the person so that the person, the individual, becomes aware of own skills and abilities. And from these conclusions, we have further questions to discuss, but we just take these questions. And hopefully by the end of this webinar, we will be able to find some insight. So, who establish your own goals? What is your balance between happiness and responsibilities? And also, when the follower of the leader is empowered, the leader has the capability to become a coach. So this would be my first part for the webinar. And I'm inviting now Alexandra Badita to keep on.